ridiculous. Somebody need to sample that and like make it a hip hop song. It might be me.
Yeah, PD's all over that.
Do it.
That's the almighty Ludacris making a special appearance here on the Live and Much with the White Stripes. Ludacris wants to sample your beats. Is that the kind of thing that your band would be? Not necessarily Luda.
He can cover the beats. He can re-record the beats and cover it.
But you don't suppose sampling
No.
you know?
Because then I don't get paid.
But you should get a good lawyer. You hear a song on the piano. Would you ever do that? Like start giving up your beats?
I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like
All of a sudden, that Seven Nation Army riff ends up in a song, and it's a hip hop track.
I guess there are a lot in England. A lot of DJs make mixes of that song, Seven Nation Army, with other songs. But I don't know. It's not my area of expertise, so I'll stop talking about it.
It's like, yeah, forget it. We're not going to get into it. Not only music for this band here, but also movies, which is a cool thing. Which ties us into, to a Speaker's Corner question we're going to get to in just a bit. But expanding your horizons off the stage, what is that like?
We were working with Jim Jarmusch on this movie, Coffee and Cigarettes. We just played ourselves in the film, so it wasn't that big of a stretch.
Well, it actually ties into this question. The question right here from Speaker's Corner on the road this time. We go out west of Vancouver.
Hi, it's Alexandria from Vancouver, and I'm wondering how you guys got involved in Jim Jarmusch's film, Coffee and Cigarettes.
Now, you remember when Roberto Benigni won an Academy Award? Well, many years earlier, he was in a movie called Down by Law, which is with Tom Waits and such, and Jim Jarmusch put it together. Kind of a legend in that world. And so to answer the question, how did you get in on that?
Jim came to see us. We played a free concert in New York City at Union Square, and is that when we first met him? I think he came to that, and he came and said hi, and we talked for a long while, and we seemed to, I don't know, it's one of those kind of people that when I first met them, I felt like I was his best friend immediately. And I don't have any friends, so I said,
you got Meg.
No.
Meg, can I find out more about that, please?
No, he said he was working on this thing, and he had asked about that. And we said, yeah, of course, that sounded brilliant, because it was a Tesla coil. I'm a huge fan of the inventor, Nikola Tesla, and I'm showing Meg the Tesla coil that I built in my basement and in the film. So
now, in the movie, Meg, as yourself, you are both skeptical and supportive at the same time. Is that an accurate depiction?
Skeptical. I don't know about supportive. I might be a little bit of a smartass now, actually.
She's sort of letting me think that I know what I'm talking about until the end, which is sort of pretty much how this band's been going for a while.
That's right. You should have told me 6 years ago. Is it the kind of relationship that can exist for 5 albums? Like after?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. I mean, I think the best thing is that there's not a bunch of male egos in the band. I mean, that's really a hard thing in bands. I've been in a lot of bands like that, and that starts to butt heads like rams all the time, And you see it in every band, from the Beatles on down to every bar band. You see that kind of arguing going on backstage. So it's funny, but we've never had that problem,
Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Well, see, sometimes when I've seen you guys play live and you get to that side mic by Meg's kit, and you start getting into it, and you guys are doing the whole stare at each other, I'm thinking, okay, how much of this is now the White Stripes playing the part, and how much
it's always about. I put that mic up there years ago. I mean, it was sort of because we didn't play things. I wanted to change things in the middle of songs and go to another song, so I needed the mic over there so I could sing, and I could say, let's do that. If we had 3 people in the band or 4, I couldn't do that because I'd have to look at everybody and say, okay, we're going to change now. That's where that came from. So it came, and then we came sort of playing together. Playing together. Now we're just up there behind curtains and not speaking to each other. It brings, the band is happening toward,
Sure. I mean, to add to the movie thing, you guys played yourselves in the Jarmusch film, and then you just woke up one day and said, I need to be in a period piece. I need a Civil War movie under my belt. And that's what you did next, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that Cold Mountain, they had offered me, they were looking for someone to play this role of this character named Georgia, who was a Civil War deserter. He was on the Confederate side, and he's a musician. So they wanted someone to, bring folk music sort of to the film and sing in the film. So I was in love with that, and I couldn't believe that there was even something like that existed, that I could even, let alone that was a possibility for it. But T-Bone Burnett, who's doing the soundtrack, he did the Old Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack, and he's producing the soundtrack, and he recommended me to the director, and we hit it off really well. We just talked about all the same things, the Mississippi Sheiks and Blind Willie Johnson, and everything was just happening with me and T-Bone and the director. We were all really together on American folk music, and it felt perfect.
Okay, let's get to an email question right here. This one comes in from Erica from Markham, Ontario. And Erica asks, hey, Jack and Meg, do you guys have any say in your videos to make them unique like they are now? And which video is your favorite so far, Meg?
I think Hardest Button to Button is my favorite so far. But, I mean, all the ones we've done, we've been really blessed as far as, like, people working with us on these things. So, I mean, Michel Gondry's been amazing. He's done, you know, a bunch of videos for us. So, and basically, you know, he's been in charge of the ideas for all of those. We've just been like, okay, we'll just bow down to you. You're amazing, yeah. And went with it.
So one thing that I've always done all the artwork for all the 45s and record sleeves and everything, you know, and we've worked together on what the stage, how we ever wanted anything to be presented about the band. I think when it came to videos, I sort of gave it up because I wanted to see someone else see what they would do with us. And it's funny because it's probably the one thing that's the most important visually because the thing that most people see. But to give that up to somebody else was a big thing, you know, for us because we do everything ourselves, you know, and I produce the records and whatever, you know. But it always works out nicely with people like Michel Gondry. If you find someone that you can work with and you trust them, then it works. The soccer is back.
That's right. On that video, Hardest Button, though, was there like, you know, you had to be convinced to go the way it did? Was he standing his ground and making the video this way?
I had no idea what he was talking about. He has a French accent, and he was calling me on the phone. He was just like, we will have the, you know, the best drum. We will multiply. And I didn't know what he meant. And I kind of hung up. I said, Nick, I think we just agreed to do a video with him, but I don't know what it's about, you know.
Awesome. Let's go to another question. Whatever, sure. Easier for you guys, right?
Right.
Sally, inside of the question for the band. Sally, what's your question for the White Stripes?
Hi, Jack. I was wondering if you've ever encountered writer's block, and if so, what compels you to continue writing music?
I really never have, I don't think. There's times where I just don't do it, and sometimes it'll be 5 or 6 months or something, and I realize I haven't written a song or anything, and I would say something like we're going to work on Elephant, and I had a bunch of songs that were sort of written, but we ended up writing maybe 5 songs right when we were in the studio, and in like the first 2 days, they just wrote 5 new ones. I don't know. I think when I just decide to do it, it just happens. I don't know why it does.
For you two, is it enjoyable in that studio? When do your personal relationships become, you know, as a musician, do they become tighter or you know, or more tense when you're putting a record together like that?
It's very uncomfortable. I like it to be as uncomfortable as possible. I like it to be cold and nothing to do. I don't like a lot of bands go in now and it's, you know, it's cappuccino machines and video games between takes and stuff. And, you know, we always record in the winter time too. And the more uncomfortable, then you get to work. You get some work done.
Is that hard though? I mean, even for you, to walk into a situation that's designed to be uncomfortable, does that provide the best, you know, environment for you?
I think so, you know. I don't get lazy that way.
She works best that way.
I mean, is it the kind of thing where it's been the same the whole way through? Or have you evolved as a band and evolved as musicians? Where you're like,
I don't think we've evolved at all, really. I don't think. I think the whole point of the band is to not evolve. I really always, the constriction is always what has kept us from, there's nowhere we can go, you know, except back into ourselves, I think. I mean, now it's to get more into something soulful by ignoring opportunity, I think.
Shall we get back outside?
Okay.
We're ready? Let's do it. Here come the White Stripes! The live must continues here. Now, we're not just bringing you outside for the sake of it. Michelle has a question for the band. Michelle, what's your question for the White Stripes? Michelle, right there has a question.
Hi, I was wondering, when you write your music, what do you want the fans to think about your music, or what do you want the fans, your music, to mean to your fans when you write
I want them to one day realize after they're singing the song to sort of listen to the words in the story.
I get a picture? Here, I'll take it. That's the whole deal with your live and watchers. And scene. Wonderful. There we go.
I still think digital cameras don't really work.
Well, and a lot of it really has
Somebody
to do with
skipped
that.
school to come see us. Somebody skipped work. And somebody skipped breakfast over there.
And now what we're going to do is skip out for a couple of minutes and come back to forth for the White Stripes on the march.